9 years ago, it was a pretty quiet, sleepy little place really, and it was starved of entertainment, and one of the main sources of any kind of entertainment was the Doha Players.
Something besides work, something to do besides hang out with the people you meet at work.
Yes, and this year the prize is going to be a gold sovereign.
I think Doha Players allows you to open up a whole world of Doha to experience.
The good thing about Doha Players was it was all so informal, and you just hung out with your friends there.
Because you meet so many people from all over the place, all the different nationalities in Doha, all the different industries in Doha.
I kind of got into Doha Players by accident, and started off helping out in the office, and then gradually got drawn in to get more involved in productions.
And then I got roped in to stand on a ladder behind an artificial tree and chuck tennis balls at someone's head.
So really, it was, for us to stay here, the Players was one of the reasons why we did stay for so long.
We've been working with them at the theatres as we got here 10 years ago. So it's a major part of our lives here in Doha.
Watch your mate!
Watch your buttons!
My name is Buttons, and I was important.
And the fact that we all had a common aim and purpose with whatever show we were involved in, I think you make much closer ties with people if you're cooperating on a project together.
Paint the sets and make the props, and it was just 5 days a week I would be at the Doha Players Theatre.
No, you can't see it from there. You have to come over and look at it from this angle.
John Adams, I didn't know him for very long, but he was a great guy. I really enjoyed his creativity, the way everything was open to being changed or being rewritten or being recolored.
You have no understanding whatsoever of contemporary painting. You never have had. It's a field about which you know nothing.
He was a great director. He did some wonderful shows. The C.S. Lewis, the Shadowlands he did the year before was fantastic, and it was a very nice production of Twelfth Night as well that that I'd seen a couple of nights before.
His students who said what a fantastic influence he had on their life. One of them says that he wasn't very academic. This young man loved drama, that John encouraged him and gave him text to read, and he's now a successful businessman.
He doesn't like the painting. Fine. But there was no warmth in his response, no attempt, no warmth in the way he condemned it out of hand. Just that vile, pretentious laugh. A real know-all laugh. I hated that laugh.
He was a good guy, funny guy. It's a sad thing that sort of thing had to happen to him. But when we do have a theater, we'll do a play that he wanted to do. Hopefully, it'd be a nice memorial for him and a nice coming together of people who are still in Doha and maybe from outside Doha coming back as a focal point.
Sad and a happy face.
Comedy and tragedy.
Comedy and tragedy, the theatre masks. What happened on the evening was that the guy came in through the wall. We're standing on the wall here. He drove through the wall and then he went to just over here where the paving is missing. He tried to climb up these steps with his vehicle and failed. So basically he detonated himself here. This is what used to be the entrance and the office, isn't it?
This is for the 10th of February. It was a month before. I was speaking to whoever the character was here. It was either Philip or Nick, when there was a big noise outside of him crashing through and grinding and stuff, and then continued with my line, And then I saw kaboom, and I saw the doors flying in, and it was just like the movies where they show things in slow motion. And I just watched the doors fly in and fly through the air, and a big fireball, and then it was completely dark.
All the cast were on stage, and there was a rumbling noise, and I thought, you know, oh, they're moving sets, but there were no sets to move, so, you know, but you don't think of that. It all happened really, really quickly. So there was a rumbling noise. I saw somebody leave the theatre and bright lights coming through, because I was actually looking towards the back of the theatre where the doors were. Saw the bright lights, and then the boom, and the you know, couldn't hear a thing, and there was bits of ceiling falling down, and there were 3 young girls on stage with me, and they were my daughters. And my first thought was, you know, we have to get off this stage now.
I remember sitting at home with my dog watching TV, and my dog sat up, and he looked at me, and he knew something had happened, but we didn't, and I didn't really hear it. I kind of felt a kind of a boom.
There was people running everywhere. There were, you know, lots of screaming, lots of noise, stuff happening all over the place. We saw the fire. Didn't really know where that was coming from, then worked out that it was coming from the West End. We got through the gate and had a look, and we just stood there and held hands and went, oh my God, oh my God.
The doors came off, and they must have hit a few of these chairs here as they went flying down. John Adams, who was right outside the doors, was thrown in here and landed right about there to the entrance to the office. And I remember coming up the aisles and looking through the aisles for people that may have been hurt, and seeing him there and thinking, I didn't recognize him at the time, but thinking that he was a goner for sure. And so we gathered him up, and we took him out through the office, out to the street, and did CPR on him, and waited for the ambulances to come. But it wasn't for probably a half an hour before we realized it was John Adams. That was a hard thing to deal with too, you know, not even recognizing your friend. We're just getting ready for a music night here at the Doha Players Villa. Counter Foundation gave us this villa to use temporarily until we could get a new home. We use it for small events, music nights, some social things. Music night tonight's kind of an open mic thing. Musicians from all over Doha and beyond come and just jam with each other.
Singing stormy weather at 57 Mount Pleasant Street. Now it's the same room, but everything's different. You can fight the sleep, but not the dream.
I don't know where. No, but one of the draftsmen took it away. Turn the engine on.
46 degrees.
Where we're going, we're on our way to the land that's been allocated to Doha Players by Doha Foundation. Maybe it will take us 25 minutes, perhaps.
I'm really excited. I am. It's true. I think if the Doha Players get a new home, it'd just be awesome. We could like do everything we did before and more, and have lots of people, and it would be exciting times. Creativity, energy, insanity. It's got it all. traffic. Get away from us, you crazy man.
As you can see, we're right in the heart of Doha out here. Our land lies behind this housing complex that we're approaching here. It's an opportunity that exists for a road constructor in the future. Basically, this is a flat area of land that's been allocated to the Doha Players to build on. This isn't, what we're seeing isn't really fenced off into lots yet, but the area of land is 100 by 100 metres, somewhere in that region.
By 100 metres, that's pretty big.
10,000 square metres, a hectare. Yeah, we're here in Qatar Academy for the first night of the importance of being earnest. Quite interesting that there's a new collection of people, still Doha Players, but there's a new collection of people. I remember what Gerard Kennedy said when we first lost the theatre. It was just like, we'll get shows together and then we'll find somewhere to do it. And that, we've done that. I mean, this show, in fact, we only came up with this as a venue within weeks of having to put the show on here.